Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a full face first impression on all Wet n Wild products. So I just want to give a big thanks to everybody who's watching, and this is Bradley B, and stay tuned. Alright, so first of all I'm going to start off with my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Face Primer. And let's see. Just going to take some on my fingers. Doesn't really have a smell to it. Kind of smells like glue. You can just mix it. And I'm just going to start buffing it into my face. So I wasn't sure what to make today's video. I was kind of contemplating making a full face first impressions or just like a fun one, just like a talking video. So I decided I was kind of going to do them both, and I was at Walmart the other night and I've heard really good things about the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation and the Wet n Wild new highlighters. Well, a lot of the highlighters, not just the new ones. So I decided I wanted to try them out, and so here we are. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation, and I'm going to take two different ones and mix them. I'm going to be using Classic Beige, and I'm going to be using Peach Natural. And they come in these cute little applicators. Now that I feel I have a good amount, I'm going to take my beauty blender and just buff it all in. So the first thing I see is that it matches my skin tone very well, so I'm really happy about that. I picked two good shades. And the second is that I feel it sticking to my skin, and it's drying semi-quickly, which I like, and it's pretty full coverage. I mean, it's got most of my redness and my bumps and Alright, so now that I have everything all blended into my skin, I have to say it is medium to full coverage. It's not bad. I absolutely love it. I feel like it's very light on my skin. It doesn't feel like it's heavy, like I have a lot of makeup on right now, but I haven't applied anything else yet, so let's see how it feels afterwards, and let's see if I can't cover up the rest of these things with the rest of their products. Alright, so next I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Megaglo Contouring Palette, just because it has a contour and a light shade in there. So I'm going to take that light shade, and I'm just going to take a little bit on the smaller end, and just kind of set my foundation a little bit. Because something about the foundation, I do have to say, it was pretty drying, which was nice. So it didn't feel like I had to sit and let it before I could move on. Something I do with my foundation is I try to bring it kind of far down my neck, just because my face isn't as tan as the rest of my body. It kind of looks like it's more pale, but in real person it looks a lot better. Once the video is all done and it's all said and done, hopefully it'll look better. And once I use that powder and yada yada yada. Alright, so now that I have that, I'm going to next move in with the concealer, the Photo Focus Concealer by Wet n Wild in the shade Light Ivory 840B. And now I'm going to use this concealer not only to kind of hide my dark circles, but also to highlight my T-zone. I'm going to start with under the eyes. And the first initial thought is that it's kind of sticky, like it's not super smooth putting on. But I think that I picked the right color, so that's something. Okay, so while that's being kind of set, I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer, and I have to say that I was so excited because I like this bronzer so much in the packaging that I used it yesterday. So this isn't a first impression, and from when I used it yesterday, I really, really, really like it, so I'm really excited to use it again. And I'm just going to go in with this brush that I got in my Ipsy Glam bag. It's got cute little unicorns on it. My angled brush. I'm just going to mix in, dip, and I'm just going to and my thoughts on this are the same as yesterday. Alright. Almost dipped back into my highlighter. Don't want to do that. So next I'm going to be taking the light powder again and just dabbing it very lightly, not so much like I'm trying to set my whole face, and I'm just going to kind of dab it all over to help set it again. Help mix in the powder. Actually, on second thought, I'm going to take this fluffy Morphe brush and just use this instead. Alright, so moving on to contouring, I'm going to now take the contouring shade next to the shade that I've been using all day, and I'm just going to take this angled brush by Morphe, my Morphe B4 brush. I love this brush for contouring. Then I'm just going to... Alright, let's see how this turns out. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed by most of the products that I'm using so far. Alrighty, so next I'm going to, once again, take that lighter shade with my Beauty Blender and just clean up the contour. So my next step is I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild, I'll have a Cosmo highlighter. And first I'm going to swatch it for all of you guys. Okay, so right off the bat it's not too pigmented, but it looks like it's going to be a nice subtle glow. So then I'm just going to go in with my Morphe M433 brush. Okay, so it's definitely buildable, but blinding, I wouldn't say so. Subtle, yes. Wait a minute. After a few layers, it's pretty blinding. Alright, so next I'm going to go ahead and do my eyeshadow. So I'm going to go back in with the Wet n Wild primer. The Wet n Wild concealer I'm going to use as an eyeshadow primer. So once again, powder, just to help set that concealer. Today I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Nude Awakening palette, the Natural. And it comes with one of those cute little sponge brushes, double-sided, but I'm not going to be using that today. I'm going to be using my Morphe brushes. So first I'm going to go in with this Morphe crease brush, and I'm just going to take this shade right here. And blend that through my crease. Oh, kind of pigmented. Kind of feeling it. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see, but it's got kind of this champagne-y brownie kind of color, if that makes sense for you. It looks really nice off camera, but on camera you can't really see it. Although I do have to say that I did have to use quite a bit of it to get the color I wanted, so it's not as pigmented as I thought it was going to be. Next I'm going in with a small flat brush, the M213 brush. I have to say it's not pigmented at all. It kind of doesn't even look like there's anything there. It's really harsh between the two. So I'm going to see if I can build with the other eyeshadow colors and see if I get a better result. Nope, still kind of looking the same. See, I tried to wipe away the fallout and it managed to get all the way up here and it's not coming off. So I'm going to go back in with that light powder again. And I'm just going to put it on a big fluffy brush. And hopefully I can fix this mess. Alright, so I'm going to finish my other eye off camera and I will be right back. Alright, so I'm back and I did the best that I could with that eyeshadow, but it really was awful. Like the whole palette, awful. Not as, it had potential. I was like, ooh, you know what? Kind of liking it. Ends out, no. So then next I'm going to take the Wet n Wild Megavolume Mascara. It looks like this. It's in this little yellow tube. Okay, has potential, but you know, so did that eyeshadow. So now I have the mascara on, I'm going to get a closer up picture. It works, but it doesn't. It doesn't work like you really want mascara to work. It definitely makes my lashes look darker. It didn't add volume. It didn't make them look thicker at all. It looks like they are black as black can get, and that's about it. And they're still wet, and I put them on about 10 minutes ago. I put it on about 10 minutes ago, and it's still coming off on my finger. So I'm not a big fan of this. I'm going to have to say no to it. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is put my lipstick on, and I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit lipstick, which looks oddly familiar, and it looks a lot like Jeffree Star's. Hold on, give me 1 second to find one. Packaging, the new one. Jeffree Star's in the shade I'm Shook, and then the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit. Obviously, the colors are different. I'm hoping the formulas are different, but I'm hoping that it's still really good because I know Jeffree Star's is amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera really quick. If you can see, it's really streaky and it was really clumpy for some reason. I don't know why that is, if it was old or what, but it shook it up. It's still kind of clumpy. And I had to apply 4 coats just to get this, and it's still extremely streaky. You can still see my lip underneath, and it's not doing the job. Also, I thought that it would be a good shade that go with the eyeshadow palette, but I was totally wrong. So I'd have to say that this liquid lipstick, the Liquid Catsuit, from this color especially, I do not recommend getting it. I don't recommend getting any of them, and the whole formula is like this. Alright, so let's do a quick product review of all the products that I used today. So, I took the lipstick off, which you will start with that just because. So I took the lipstick off just because it was so awful, and it kind of looks like it's still on there because it was so hard to get off that I don't think I got it all. So I would definitely have to say that the Liquid Catsuit lipstick by Wet n Wild is definitely a no-go if you think about buying it. Definitely not. So then my next no, since we already started with the nose, we're just going to keep going with the nose. I'm going to have to say the, no surprise, the Megavolume Mascara. I might keep it around just because, like, it did make my lashes look black, but, like, it was still really liquidy. It was not what I wanted. It didn't give me volume. It was just a not good mascara overall, because when you want a mascara, you want big and voluminous. I can't say that, but you want a lot of volume, and you want them super big, and you want them super in your face, and you want to see them. And even if you want a natural look, this still is not the lash mascara to use. The next product that I'm going to have to say no to is probably the Photo Focus Face Primer. It didn't really do a very good job at, I don't know what it's supposed to do, refining my pores. Didn't really do a good job. Fills fine lines, didn't do that. I can still see a lot of wrinkles on my forehead, and even if you can, I see them too. Brightens complexion, maybe. Even skin tone, definitely did not see that. So I don't think that this is very reliable. I don't like this, so we're going to throw it in the no category with the lipstick and the mascara. The last no, which was the biggest no, was probably this eyeshadow. When I swatched it, I thought it was super pigmented, and now I'm wiping away the swatch with like 3 swipes on my hand. Gone. And I guess I should have swatched it a little better, and that would have told me, but I definitely have to say that this is a big old no, because there's no pigment whatsoever. I literally had to dip the brush 8 times to get any color that I wanted, and it didn't even turn out a color that I wanted. No pigment, no nothing. It was awful. So, into the nose. Now, on to the maybes. There's only one, and it's this highlighter. I kind of am liking it. It looks very subtle. It doesn't look like an in-your-face highlighter like I kind of like. It looks more like a natural highlight, which isn't bad, but I'm just going to have to say it's a maybe for me, so I'm going to definitely keep it, and I'll probably use it again because it was very buildable, but it's definitely not like if you're going for a blinding highlight, you use it, or if you're going for a better than natural highlight, you use it. You definitely don't. Alrighty, so on to the yeses. So the first yes I'm going to have to say was the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. I definitely like it a lot. It definitely feels really light on my skin, and it's definitely. So it definitely feels light on my skin for how full coverage it is. It doesn't feel cakey at all. It doesn't, I've probably had it on for about 40 minutes now. It doesn't feel gross. It doesn't feel cakey. It doesn't feel heavy, and it was very decently coverage, and it was pretty moderately priced. I mean, it was $5 for each one, and that's not bad at all for a drugstore foundation. So I'm going to definitely have to give that a thumbs up because I really like that, and I will continue to use it. So the next thing that I wasn't too sure about in the beginning was the Wet n Wild Concealer. I really, really, really like this. This is probably, it's not my favorite, but it was definitely one of the favorite products in the 10 that I used today. Because it started off really sticky, and I wasn't sure about it, but then in the end it really pulled through, and it helped really lighten my T-zone, and it really helped cover those dark circles. Excellent. Definitely like it. Definitely keeping it around. Alrighty, so then we're going to move on to the contour palette, the little contour and light palette. I really like this. This was definitely a good one. I am going to keep this around for sure because the contour was a really nice color that matched my, well, it didn't. The contour was a really nice contour that blended into my skin really well, especially on top of that bronzer, and this really helps set everything else. I definitely like it 100%. I'm going to keep it around. Alrighty, so the last product I think that I have to review is the bronzer that I loved and was amazing yesterday, and I still love it today, and it's still just as amazing, so I am definitely keeping this around. And yeah, so all in all, this brand I would say is pretty good because it was pretty consistent. Again, the highlight wasn't my thing, but it did a really good job. The only thing that I would say no was everything that had to do with the eyes and everything that had to do with the lips. Everything, meaning the one lipstick. But definitely no on the lipstick, no on the mascara, no on the eyeshadow, and no on the primer. But a definite yes on the concealer, the foundation, the bronze, and the contour. And I am probably going to move this from a maybe to a yes because I did say I was going to keep it around because I will most likely use it again. So, all in all, it was a pretty good experience. I definitely liked doing this video. And last thing before I go, I would like to give a big birthday shout out to my little sister Hope, who just turned 13 today. Today is April 21st. 13 years ago today, you changed the family. And I wasn't too happy about it because I was the baby until you came around. But I gotta say, Hope, I think I'll keep you around like I'm going to keep some of this makeup around. So again, thank you all for watching, and I hope that you subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and more to come. And there's more to come.